and welcome to this episode of the Wild Spirits News. My name is Sibylle, and today I'm going to talk to you about turning focus into priority in 4 steps. Now, what happens to me often is very similar to a conversation I had with a friend of mine a couple of days ago, who said, "Oh, Sibylle, I love what you do. And you know what? I've already placed so much more focus and I'm taking so much more time for my music," which is her passion. And it feels fantastic. Now, don't get me wrong, this is a great thing. Any more time that you spend doing what lights you up, doing the thing or the things, if you're multi-passionate, that make you forget time, that make you feel so alive, is absolutely amazing and is, in my book, definitely a good thing. However, what I coach people about is goes a lot further than this. It's about actually prioritizing passion. Now, in the following, I'm going to talk about the difference between these two things and also how you get from the one to the other. In last week's email newsletter, I included a link to an article I published on Medium, where I wrote about how it takes guts to actually prioritize a passion. Priority means putting something first. And that is the difference to just focusing on it and making more time for it, which is, like I said, good and well, but it goes a lot further to have the courage to prioritize, to actually put your passion front and center. Now, most people say, yeah, but I have to make a living. What about my job? And I agree that earning the money to live on is obviously very important. However, I'm saying that it's only important insofar as it makes you the money to live on. And so don't give it any undue focus. Beyond that, this is the only part where it has a priority. And then, of course, the second thing that is often put in before passions is family, especially children, because we grow up with this ideal that a parent, especially a mother, but both parents actually, should always, their lives just revolves around their children and they have no priorities of their own anymore. And I say, no, your passion actually comes first. I'm not saying that to suggest that you should neglect your job or your family. Just to make that absolutely clear. I wrote that in that article as well. If you want to read up on it, I'm going to link it again in the abstract below the video. But this is about something that goes far beyond this. In fact, by prioritizing your passion, by making sure that you are abundantly joyful and happy, you make sure that you can actually show up for both your job and for your loved ones and your family. You'll be your best self. You'll be your filled to the brim with joy and with love, and that spills over to your children and to your family. And the love and the joy that you feel, yes, does come from the people around you, but first and foremost, it has to come from yourself. It cannot come from outside of you. It has to come from you yourself. And this is where your joy and your passion comes in. The biggest shortcut towards joy and love in your life are your passions. Now, some people manage to turn their passion into their income, like a freelance artist activity, or some passions even lend themselves to becoming careers or businesses. And that's brilliant. However, it is not necessary in order to prioritize your passion. That's a common misconception. You can, at least at first, and even in the long term, prioritize your passion by pursuing it with a full-time mindset, with a full-time attitude, whilst only spending a part of your time on it. And what this requires is a shift in your mindset. And then also putting your money where your mouth is and following it up with actions. But the shift in mindset comes first. Now, I've put together a 4-step process that can do that second part that I talked about, namely to put your money where your mouth is and actually put this insight, this shift in mindset into action and make the shift in your life as well. So step number 1 is very unglamorous. You need a calendar. You need to do some planning. Because you know what? If it's not written down, if it's not planned, if it's not scheduled, it's not going to happen. It's not real. Life is going to happen. A million things are going to distract you. And maybe for a week or two, you'll actually manage to prioritize what lights you up. But I guarantee you, life is going to get in the way. So get a calendar. If you have a smartphone, like most people these days, you have a perfect calendar right there. And what's so great about it is that it's very easy to schedule a new event or schedule something new, and also to add a reminder, a notification, so you won't forget. So get a calendar, that's step number 1. Step number 2 is block off time for things that you can't move, like your work hours if you're an employee, or stuff if you're a parent and there's always Thursday evening, you always drive your kids to choir practice or whatever it is. Now you block these off first. Remember what I said about priorities? Priorities come first, so why am I telling you to schedule other things first? It's not because they're the first priority, it's because they are inflexible. They have to happen at that time. If your work hours are from 9 to 5, then you'll have to be there from 9 to 5 or you'll lose your job. So just block this off as the inevitable, unmovable things. And after you've done that, comes step 3, and step 3 is actually putting in your priority, which is your passion. Now block off generous time and be absolutely ruthless with this. Think what would make you most happy to do that week and block off plenty of time for that. Maybe one particular evening a week works for you, or a weekend day or a weekend afternoon, or it changes from week to week, which is why I suggest a week as a really good unit, because it's not planning too far ahead. But you'll probably already know if you're invited to a party or to a wedding or something, or you have something else going on there. So it's usually a good unit, and obviously it's not set in stone. If something comes up, you can always change scheduling. However, your priority, your passion, should be not negotiable. So once that is in the calendar, that is there. And barring an emergency that somebody breaks a leg or something, which of course can happen, but barring an emergency, your priority passion is not negotiable and stays in there. And then you come to step number 4, and here you put in the quality time with your loved ones. The stuff that is really important to you, like your children, like your spouse, like your parents, like your friends, everybody you really want to spend quality time with. It could be a date night, it could be a family evening, a game afternoon, or going to the park, or to whatever you're going to do. Because then you can be absolutely sure that you'll show up 100% and at your best, because you and your needs are looked after that week. Now that is the 4-step process. I invite you to give it a go and use the calendar, because it's really important to have it written down and scheduled for it to actually happen. And then see what that does to your life. If you're focusing your passion, that is fantastic. I'm not saying you're doing anything wrong. It's much better than just getting to your passion once every 4 weeks when there's some time left. It's already a huge step up from there. But to ultimately get to coming to your life purpose, to actually living in that state of bliss, of constant joy and constant feeling like you're exactly where you're supposed to be, you have to take it a step further and make your passion, or multiple passions, an actual priority. If you would like a written abstract of what was said in this video, as well as lots of background and insider information, recommendations of books and other resources, and regular exclusive offers exclusive to subscribers, go to wildspiritscoaching.com and fill in the little form, which will get you a weekly email with coaching magic directly to your inbox. Your data is completely safe with me, so go to wildspiritscoaching.com and subscribe. You can also Google Wild Spirits Coaching, which will also get you to my website. Thanks for watching.